She was in my back seat. She was probably the least exposed. One guy was shot in his back. He actually did die. One guy, there was a few guys that were shot in their chest. He carried someone dead into the hospital.
Oh my gosh! And how are you both at this very moment? How are you handling all this?
I mean, as well as we can. I mean, I don't really know how to answer that.
Yeah. Well, you're
just as well. We're just trying to get through the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You both, and could not imagine. And I just hope that you get the care that you need, having witnessed something like this, and just so grateful for what you did to help others, both of you. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay.
We just heard Lindsay say so many people felt like they had nowhere to go. Our Matt Gutman has been on the scene all night long there in Las Vegas. And Matt, that's the point right there. You described it earlier today as a kill box. This was a 10,000 people in basically held captive.
That's right, George. I mean, you rarely hear about shooters anywhere, whether they are terrorists and trained by terrorist groups or they are in the military or law enforcement, use their weapons on automatic, on full auto. But that is what apparently this man was able to do. May have had his weapon on lockdown and just spraying those bullets into the crowd. Now, these rounds are meant to ricochet within the body, causing maximum harm. And that's the kind of injuries that we've been hearing about. The bullets coming in one side, going out another side. And what they do is they essentially, and I don't want to get too graphic, but the idea is that they're designed to create as much internal damage as possible. Right now, we've even been seeing the walking wounded come back in here. There's a man about 3 minutes ago who walked past here who had been shot through the knee, and he said, I'm out of the hospital. I'm sort of able to walk, and you should have seen what it's like at the hospital. It's that much worse there. The sheer terror and the fright that these people went through in that kill box, it was literally shooting fish in a barrel. It was something that I don't know if we've seen in this country before. That many bullets fired on that many people causing this many injuries is something unique in this country's history, George.
We have never seen this many killed, and for so many hours after the shooting, after the entire city in a state of terror, believing that there were multiple attacks.
Right, there was this cascade of terror alerts, essentially, and it went up this strip. And it started at the Mandalay, where the shooter actually fired from, and went down to these landmark hotels in Las Vegas, the Luxor, the Excalibur, MGM Grand, New York. Caesar's Palace was shut down. All of these places ordered their guests to seek shelter in place, and that's tens of thousands of visitors in rooms across this very, very populated and generally bumping strip. And then, Lindsay mentioned this earlier, that the sheer quiet of seeing the Las Vegas Strip completely shut down is something nobody has seen. Also in the sky, there are always airplanes flying in at about 10, 11 p.m., people landing on late-night flights. The air above here was absolutely still, and that is a very unusual sight. The only sound that you hear in the city, or you heard in the city, in the immediate aftermath, were sirens and people streaming out of that site. A lot of them just holding their heads, many of them just crying by the side of the road. And again, George, because there was a lockdown here, many people got shut out of their hotel rooms. And it's Las Vegas, but it is chilly here at night. So we saw people huddling for hours just waiting to get back to their rooms. Some of them still covered in the blood that they were in from that concert and from that shooting, George.
Horrifying scene. Okay, Matt Gutman, thanks very much.
I can only imagine. Let's go to ABC's David Curley. People were fleeing the shooting. They were escaping to the nearby airport. It's fence, and who can blame them? They were just running for their lives there, David.
The chaos, right, and that instinct to flee. And if you get a sense of what actually happened here, Mandalay Bay, the hotel, the high-rise, is on the right behind it, just to the east, is a large parking lot. That is the venue that was used for the concert. And it was fenced in, so people had to get over that fence. Just a little bit further east, you are at the fence line to McCarran Airport. And that fence was breached by a lot of these people fleeing the scene, trying to get anywhere away from the venue. They ended up on the McCarran Airport. Now, the airport immediately ordered a ground stop, partly because the shooting was happening right next to them at Mandalay Bay, and partly because security had been breached and they had people on the airfield walking around. That lasted for about an hour and a half. About nearly 24 flights were actually diverted to other airports. That's why you had the quiet that Matt Gutman just reported. There were no planes coming in late at night. Then the airport was resecured and also started operations once again. But Robin, just like the witness you just spoke to a few minutes ago, she took shelter in an airport hangar. They were going anywhere they could go, and the airport is right there next to this area.
You can totally understand that, David. Thank you very much. And there's some new
We
information
have some
coming in.
information coming. I want to take that to FBI agent, former